Welcome to Plan ORE. This is an introductory video on the ORE Part 1 examination, and this video would explain to you as to what it is, how the exam is conducted, how it's marked, what you need to study, and how we at Plan ORE will help you in doing so. So if you like us and you want to join us, you can contact us on any of the following links. You can also join the FB and the WhatsApp group and get any info, theoretical, non-theoretical, or any other questions which you have regarding the exam. So let's begin with what ORE is. The full form of ORE is the Overseas Registration Examination, as we all know. And this examination has to be given by all dentists who have passed outside United Kingdom but want to practice clinical aspects or theoretical aspects of dentistry within the country. So we need to give the ORE Part 1 and the Part 2 exam and get GDC registered. So what it is exactly? It is a theory-based exam, the Part 1. However, the Part 2 is the clinical aspect. In this video, we will be only talking about the theory or the Part 1 examination. For Part 2, we have more videos, so please have a look there. This theory in Part 1 is comprised of all the basics and the clinical aspects of dentistry, and they are asked in the form of either MCQs, that is multiple choice questions, or EMQs, that is extended matching questions, and I would be explaining to you what these are in some time. So what factors we need to consider? You should be quite thorough with the knowledge because it is a theory exam. You should be very confident while answering the questions, and you need to be quite quick because it's an exam against time. You have to solve about 200 questions in the time period of 3 hours. So the best thing is to keep revising as much as you can, and we would recommend not to mug up things. The best thing is to understand the concepts clearly so that you're confident enough to answer any questions which are asked from the topic. A small tip is to make a lot of stickies, classification tables, and small charts to help you memorize or recollect along the way. Also, a good thing is sharing information with your friends. That goes a long way in retaining theoretical aspects in your brain. So let's get started with what you need. There is a long list of the books which you need. This is also listed in the description below, so you can also pick the list from there. So the Oxford's Handbook of Clinical Dentistry and Applied Sciences are considered to be the two most important books recommended by everyone who has passed the examination. However, there are a few more other books that goes a long way in making you understand the concepts, and a lot of students refer to them as well. Like the Master's Dentistry Part 1 and Part 2, Churchill's Pocketbook Dentistry, and some specific subject-related books like Vander's for Physiology, Eric and Wade's for Radiology, B.D. Chaurasia for Anatomy, and Cosson's for Oral Medicine. The subject-related books can always be taken from the ones you have referred in your graduation time, as long as they explain the basic concepts properly. Apart from the books, there is something known as the BDA sheets, that is, the sheets on various aspects like laws, ethics, hygiene, sterilization, leave, and so on. And these are in accordance with the UK guidelines or the GDC guidelines, so we need to learn them as well. So it's a long list, and therefore at Plan ORE what we do is we comprise all this information in points so that you don't have to break your head going through all the books, but just go through the facts or points listed subject-wise. For the questions, we recommend you to see all the feedback sheets which have been there on the social media, as well as any books which you call the past test, which gives you a clear idea of how the questions are. At planore, we have set up questions in the form of MCQs and EMQs, which comprises more or less all the information from these subjects or these books. And we have a set pattern of 2 to 4 unit tests per subject and 1 to 2 test papers per subject, depending upon how long the subject is. I would describe this more in detail when we actually come to what we do at planore. So in short, these are the list of books you need to have for the exam. So how is the exam conducted? It's on computer screens and it's a 2-day exam. The first day is the Part A paper, where you have questions on basic subjects like anatomy, physiology, microbiology, pathology. And Part B is the clinicals, where you have questions on clinical subjects like prosthodontics, ortho, pedo, perio, endo, and so on. Now every paper has 200 questions and every paper lasts for 3 hours. And the questions can either be in the form of MCQs or in the form of EMQs. Now computer screens can be a little tricky if you haven't used them before. But when you give the exam, the examiners will carefully help you and let you know how to use the computer screen well before the exam so that you don't fumble or waste time during the examination. We at planore have examinations online so that you have a better practice of how the exams are conducted beforehand. The first type of questions is the EMQs, which is a question and it has 4 options and you need to mark the correct answer. Now these questions can either be in the form of an image, or it can be a numerical where you need to solve it using a formula, or it can be a direct fact-based question right out from the book, or a statistic-oriented question. The second is the EMQs, also called the extended matching questions, which is kind of a match the column. So you have about 4 to 5 questions on one topic and you have about 5 or 6 answers in the second column. They all represent one topic. For example, if the topic is muscles of the face, so the questions will be which muscle is responsible for mastication, which is responsible for pouting of lips, which is responsible for closing of your eyes, what is responsible for making wrinkles on your face. And on the right hand column you will have answers like buccinator, masseter, orbicularis oculi, orbicularis oris, and you need to correctly match the answers. So every question will have one correct answer, and these questions are usually fact-based, right out from the book. So how will we go at planore about it? If you join us, we will be sending you certain important point-based notes for every subject. And every subject is divided into 2 or 4 sections depending on the length. Let me give you a better explanation. For example, anatomy is a huge subject and pedo is a small one. So we have divided anatomy in 4 parts. That is 4 different sections, and every section will have about 4 or 5 topics under it. So we go ahead with the first section. This will be explained on an online session. All the important and difficult things will only be explained. The rest, simple and easy basic things, is there in your notes, and we wouldn't be wasting time explaining it to you. We would be explaining the important and the most difficult aspects of it. However, if you still have doubts on anything else, we would be happy to clear it out. After the section, you will have a unit test of 30 questions, so you know whether you have understood this session well or not. This would be followed by a second session of online session where you need to watch the class with the help of notes. Then it would be followed by a 30 marks unit test, which will help you understand whether you got an understanding of this session or not. After this, there will be a paper on both the sessions of 200 questions, so you have questions from both the topics. The third will be similar, then the fourth, and then again a test paper with both the topics. For a smaller subject, it will be divided into 2 parts, and after every part there will be a unit test, and after both the unit tests there will be a combined test paper of 200 questions. Once all the subjects are over, we will move on to the next part, that is the revision series, where we'll give you about 5 to 7 papers with 200 questions each, and it will have questions from all the subjects, so you have an idea of how to recollect questions and answers from different subjects when they are mixed up. So it will be kind of a recap. We'll give you classes on revision of the important things, as well as if you have any doubts in any of the subjects, and obviously the online exams of 200 questions each, 5 to 7 papers. How are you marked in the exam? For every question you get 1 correct mark. So if you get 180 out of 200, they calculate a percentage which is 90. That's for paper 1. They similarly calculate another percentage for your paper 2. You need to get an average of 50% in both the papers to have an overall pass. You do not have any negative marking, so even if you leave the question or mark it wrong, or you put a wrong answer, you get a 0 mark, but you do not get a negative mark. Before I end, I would also like to tell you something I left before, that we would also guide you on certain tips like how to be quick, how to solve numericals, how to do important images, and the feedbacks, how to solve them with the help of a reference. So if you like us, give us a like and come join us at planore. We would offer and give you everything at the comfort of your home. So thank you so much for listening, and come and join planore. Thank you.